ever since I decided to start doing this live on my way to work thing as a update to Adam's Rib Media Ministry, also Adam's Rib TV. And Adam's Rib Media Ministry ain't going nowhere. And I will be broadcasting tonight, and I will be broadcasting live on Station Head tonight. Now, as you can see, I'm a black woman, and I love myself black, and I love other black people. What I always think is so funny is how we as black people do each other. Okay? I always think it's so interesting how we do each other. So there was a headline last night, and it announced one of the billionaires that's around now may be en route to be a trillionaire. And of course, he's white and male. I remember a few years back when professional sports was almost predominantly black, except for maybe baseball and hockey. So we broke a lot of barriers, and of course, what do most people think of when they think about successful sports is that the guys are also making a lot of money. And I always thought it was funny that many people, especially Caucasians, seem to always want to question the fairness of it. Now, when the leagues were predominantly white and it were white people getting paid, nobody thought to question it. No one thought to question it at all. And I remember someone writing into Ann Landers and spreading that hate her way, and her saying, do you question it when the white males who own these teams and own the league, that practically run the league, are making way more than what the players are making? And no one ever questions white players making it. But as soon as, black people started, black people, because now, women are starting to now be able to break into professional sports and be paid to do something that they love to do, which is, their sport. And you always hear those same arguments, and it's like, but nobody ever seems to question a white person being successful or being wealthy at anything that they do. Now, this sounds like an indictment on white people. Maybe it is. It's really my indictment on black people, because here lately I have ran into a denomination that has a little problem with human trafficking. See, I don't care about you calling me no snitch, because I know all the little dumb shit that people that share our color and that are in our community say to each other, and we really want to get over on each other and make each other feel bad because we ain't in agreement with the little stupid shit that each other does to each other. Okay? Whenever we want to get over on each other, there will be those same lies. Oh, you like white people better. No, I don't like white people better. Really, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't like any color better than the next. I'm cool with Latins. I'm cool with Asians. Are you a cool person to be around? Are you a person that I can trust? Okay? Are you a person? Are you a man that drags women down? Because one of the things that I'm getting really sick and tired of here lately is the amount of men, period, that can't stand to see a woman achieve nothing without her having to sleep with them to get it. One thing that I hate is sexual harassment. So I'll give a little bit of a testimony. I don't know if I can say it a testimony, but a story. So I left a denomination, I left a church. And I left a church because their pastor couldn't seem to offer me anything without trying to get me to sleep with one of his members. Okay? Now, much of this was taking place in the spirit realm, and since I'm very sensitive in the spirit, certain dreams that come and certain things that come, I recognize that it ain't God bringing it, that it's the adversary. And so I'm like, no, okay. Now I'm always, I hear the sisters online. Some of y'all black women really need to quit defending the wrong black men. Do not defend R. Kelly anymore because those could have very well been your daughters locked up in his house. See, I ain't no pedophile, so I don't struggle with their struggles. I don't know the stuff that they go through. But if you know, I'm sick and tired. One of the pages that I follow made a statement one time, and they said half the people that are in therapy right now are in therapy behind someone who won't go to therapy. Think about the number of people who are in somebody's office now, being counseled, being the hands laid on them because somebody hurt them, and that person won't go get a lick of help, gonna go to their damn grave. Like one of the pastors that I was under did, he went to his grave, an evil ass man, still doing evil sexual shit to women, still doing all. If that makes you feel like a man, then you are a messed up man. And I'm tired of it out of men out of all colors. You say you don't like gold diggers, but as soon as you see a woman doing anything that keeps her not being financially dependent on a man, then your nose is out of joint because you feel like less of a man. Like, really? So I left this church. I knew it was trouble the first time they tried to arrange a damn marriage for me. I don't do churches that are that arrange and force marriage mess. I don't do it. If your pastor has a problem with having a wandering eye or messing around or is an adulterer, please do not invite me to your church. If you're a man who is still fornicating, do not invite me to your church. If Jesus ain't done enough in your life to keep you out of bed with women you are not married to, or keep you from cheating on your wife, please don't invite me to your church. For real. Right now, even though I'm doing online ministry or whatever, I'm not attending anybody's church on a regular basis. And I'm not because I see how some of y'all act that call yourself Christians. All colors. If your pastor is affiliated with white supremacy, don't invite me to your church at all. I want nothing to do with any of that mess. Foolishness that seems to be that seems to constantly be directed at black women. It's enough that as a black woman I have to deal with mess out of black men. Some of y'all look at this Kevin Samuels guy. I remember when Derek Jackson first got busted for, his indiscretions against his wife. And I could remember thinking, I saw this coming. Okay? I saw this coming. I kind of stepped into one of his lives one time, and he made a statement, and I was like, "This is about to get too grown for me, so I'm out." And so I got out of the live. I was like, "No, I'm not about to sit up here in this." When they start talking about being in that hotel room all by their little lonesome, like, yeah, I'm not. At 55, I'm too old to get caught up. This is, some of the stuff I see going on now and see some of the shit people doing to each other. And it makes me, people talk about women feeling invisible at a certain age. I don't know if it's invisible or what. I remember this woman saying, because, I've been addicted to YouTube here lately. So this woman talked about all of the bad attention that she got from men in all her years. Everything from catcalling to guys wanting to grope her without her permission, different other stuff like that. And the first pastor out of this denomination that I dealt with seemed to keep defending guys who were giving me wrong attention. That should have been my first clue as to what this denomination was about. Because most men recognize bad attention when it's happening. So when you are being approached the wrong way or doing something and somebody blames it on your clothes. Anyway, eventually it evolved into a thing of one of his pastor buddies blowing on my neck. And because of the way this church talked about women, I didn't feel comfortable coming forward and saying anything right away because I didn't think that I would be believed. So when you sit here and go, why does it take them so long to come forward? Number one, they don't think they're going to be believed. Number two, 9 times out of 10, the person who has been inappropriate with them has more power, has a title, has more power, and more money, and more backing. And 9 times out of 10, they're probably the perfect gentleman around other women because y'all know how y'all like to play them games. Let me act like a perfect gentleman around everybody else so that when I decide I want to victimize someone, I can sit over here and do it, and I'll have a bunch of you penis worshiping bitches running behind me and defending me. Okay, but he's such an upstanding pillar of the community. He's so this and he's so that. Stop defending me. Okay, I never understand a grown man that needs a bunch of women defending him all the time. And I'm getting to the point with some of these men where I'm like, are you really a grown man? Why don't you trade your penis in for a pussy? Because that's really what you act like. So it got completely mishandled because I've since looked up other information on this denomination, and it was pretty consistent with how they handled things when one of their pastors misbehaves. It'll always be, oh, it's a setup because blah 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 blah. Ain't nobody set you up. Why not keep your breath inside your mouth and keep it moving? Why walk up on women that you don't know their first name, don't know nothing about them? What law is there in manhood that says that you have to be inappropriate with women or you're not a man? I have never understood that. I have never understood the need to fondle women who you don't know their first name, don't know their last name, don't know nothing about them. You're not their boyfriend, you're not their husband, you're not their fiance. And even in them cases, I'm a little bit leery of people who want to act a certain way publicly or whatever. Because after a while, you're like, why don't you take that mess to a hotel room? Okay, but that's that couple. That's their dynamic. But you don't know anything about the person. You don't know their first name. But you decide that it's perfectly okay for you to blow on their neck. And one of your other fellow wolves decides that when you finally come forward because you don't want no problems, you don't want no hassle, and the person knows what they did, but continues to keep trying to make you be around them anyway. Okay? I don't understand that mess. Except for it's one of the many ways that the enemy uses men against women. Anything that's in your life that you're not delivered from, the devil can use against someone else around you. One of the things I learned when I was at the last church I was at, All Nations Church, okay, there was a pastor that talked about sins and trespasses. And so he said trespass is a thing that you do to someone else. It's a sin that you commit somewhere else. And so and so people trespass against others. Well, one of the ways that men trespass is through sexual harassment, and then trying to make it feel like it was trying to get you to internalize it and make you feel like it's something that you did. Now I'm gonna say this: I don't care if you're in the cradle or all the way to your grave. When someone gives you wrong attention, it is not your fault. It is their fault. If a pastor is sending people after you, because I've had to deal with that too. I've had to deal with members of my own family acting a fool with me, all because some pastor that they worship told them to act a fool with me. Okay, now I have a problem with that because if we've been tight, and we've been family members all these years. One thing you should know me well enough to know that there's some stuff I ain't doing. So whatever you were paid, I hope it was worth it. Oh yeah, because I know how certain things work in what people call the so-called real world. I know how easily motherfuckers can be bribed, not just with money, but also opportunity. Also know that women can be bribed with rings. Okay, do this one favor for me, and I'll marry you. Because after all, we're not in our 30s, 40s, and 50s and grown ass women, and men can still bribe us with a little bit of male attention and promise to do something and promise to be our boyfriend, I guess, if we will do certain stupid shit for them. Because some women act like they still in fucking high school, still compete for the quarterback's hand or whatever the hell it is you're trying to do. Okay? So, anyway, I had that happen to me. And so, the second place I left was, and that should have been my first warning when I found out that they were affiliated with the same denomination. So, this denomination, Apostolic Church, seems to have a problem minding their penises. Okay? So every time a man looks your way, it's your fault. So the first time they started trying to get me, trying to fix me up with somebody, and I said no. And instead of hearing my no, I had to turn around and hear other women in the damn church continue to keep trying to talk this person up. Pastor kept trying to arrange for the person to be around me in the same spaces that I was in. Kept trying to be, and did it 3 times with 3 different men. So finally, I just had to fall up out of the church and say, bump it. I just want to 10. Now, this same church spends all their time swearing up and down that every woman is out to tempt and trap men. All their first ladies is always teaching men how to beware of women because women are so conniving and so this, that, the other. Really ain't nothing but man traps. And so I had to listen to a steady diet of this garbage for about a good however long I was around, because I kept hearing it over at the other church. And then when I came to this church, I had to turn around and hear all of this other stuff. Well, after a while, I began to, pray. I'm like, what is, Lord, what in the world? And the words human trafficking came to me. Hmm. No, I'm not a prostitute. This is why I keep teaching on lies Satan tells women. Okay? Yeah, all colors. So, like I said, as a community, as a black community, okay? At what point do you continue to keep putting up with BS out of churches in your community that are not helping your community, that are preying on the women and children in your community? Because we talk about the black preacher and we talk about the black church and this, that, the other. And some stuff, we make jokes out of, but after a while, it's not funny anymore. And maybe I should say the Christian community, because to be perfectly honest with you, many of these white preachers aren't any better. Okay? Because I've always been one of those people. I tend to look at the person's character and not their color. Okay? So to me, like I said, if you approach me inappropriately and I don't like the way, and I won't, because I'm a Christian, but I'm women and children in the church. You're supposed to be a Christian, but you're trafficking women. Like I said, I don't have nothing to do with that. And Jeanette is nobody's prostitute. You're supposed to be a Christian, and a Christian woman, but you and different people under him are doing, and you're helping facilitate. You, a Christian woman who says that you value women who work for theirs and don't sleep their way to the top. Really? You don't believe in women sleeping their way to the top? I can't tell. And I can't tell because you are harassing women on behalf of some of these men. And make no mistake, just because you quote "love has no color," okay, which I didn't had enough of listening to that BS, because this is not love that we talk about. Okay, so you value women who don't sleep their way into a position. You value women who work for theirs and are smart and intelligent and this, that, and the other, but yet you're helping these same men try to get next to a woman that's already said she wants nothing to do with that. Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool to you? See, you must. I'm gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to quote Beyonce on this one. You must not know about me. Okay. You must not know about me. You must not know who you talking to. You picked the wrong bitch. Cause see, I'm not one of these women that could just sit by and watch you destroy some woman's life, and then just roll right on and act like you didn't just destroy one of my sisters. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Christian feminist. Yeah, I want you to hear it loud and clear. Because I ain't backing down to none of you men. Unlike the women who are married to you and think you're attractive and think you're cute and want to fuck you, so they'll turn around and look the other way because of your fuckability. I am not that woman. And if you cross me, you cross yourself. cross yourself. I am nobody's mammy. I had to basically do everything short of gnawing my damn arm off because everything that looked like the creepy crud that they kept trying to put in my face. Well, I was laying in my room, and all of a sudden, this demon came into my room because they were proficient in witchcraft. So, the whole proposition was, can we use you on our way to other women? I said, no, you cannot. And they've been all this white men have been fucking up with white women just because you have white skin. I am not that black person. So I am not the one to fuck with. I'm not the one to play with. I'm not the one. Anyway, I'm almost here at work. Tonight I will be going live. Whether or not this will be a dedication to Versus or not, I may dedicate it and just play some of their music and everything. I may not make it as so structurally as I usually try to do everything else. But tonight I just feel like we need to hear some music. We need to hear, some encouraging stuff. Regina King's movie, The Harder They Fall, is coming out this weekend. Me and the Queen Mother plan to see it and everything. I'm going to discuss it a little bit more later on. But I will talk to you guys later on. Bye bye.